Hey everybody. Yep, it's that time of year again. It's bowl season, college bowl season. And it's also the final season of the BCS. That's right, the final BCS standings were revealed last night, and the final BCS bowl games were revealed last night as well. And to kind of say that the BCS kind of had its ups and downs throughout the years, throughout its run, basically of 15 years, it's it's no surprise that there are some people that are welcoming the new playoff system next year. Now, from what I understand, this playoff system is going to be it's going to depend on, I guess, the scheduling and stuff like that. And mainly, to me, who's got like the better records, who had the better schedule and stuff like that. It's going to go by strengths, basically. So no computers involved this time. But like I said, what a way for the final BCS standings, the final BCS bowls to go down. Who would have thought you would have had Florida State and Auburn? The projection was always Florida State, Alabama, or Florida State, Ohio State, or even Ohio State, Alabama, or even Oregon, Alabama. In fact, if you want to know the truth, when we began this college football season, Oregon and Alabama was the projected national championship to close out the BCS. Now look where they are. But anyway, I'll get to those when I can. But I'm going to read off to you the college bowl games that have been the college bowl games that will take place and the teams that will be involved in these bowl games. And some of them might surprise you. Again, what a way to get to the final BCS bowl games, you know what I mean? But again, the non-BCS games will surprise you as to who's going to what bowl and who's facing who, in case you guys didn't see the BCS selection show or the bowl selection show last night. But yeah, it's quite amazing, if you know what I mean. It's quite amazing how we got to this level, got to this position. But again, just because the BCS is ending and we're going into a 4-team playoff next year, it doesn't mean the bowl games are gone. No, it just means the major bowl games, the BCS bowl games, if you will, the elite bowl games, are going to be kind of going through a lot of transitions throughout the years. In other words, some will be bowl games. In fact, they still will be bowl games. They're just going to be used as semifinal games as well. So, like next year, again, you got to look at what bowl games are getting what. Let's say the Rose Bowl, which I'm not sure of yet, gets let's say the Chick-fil-A or the Rose Bowl, whoever, gets a semifinal game. It'll still be a bowl game, but not only will the winner be that bowl's champions, but they'll move on to the national championship. So not only would they win the bowl championship, let's say the semifinals in the Cotton Bowl, if you will. Not only would they win the Cotton Bowl championship, but they would advance to become national champions as well. It's kind of like the Final Four in basketball. It's kind of like the Final Four in basketball. When you have a team, when you have the Final Four teams, it's like, let's say you have Kansas and Duke against each other in one of the Final Four matchups. And Duke wins that. Duke advances to the national championship. But they win the semifinal game. They win the championship of that semifinal. Basically, they win the entire region, the entire section of the West-South region. So they get a kind of a constellation right there to hold them over until the following Monday. It's kind of like that. But this obviously is going to mean a little bit more, because it means not only would they become bowl champions of the bowl the semifinals in, but they would also advance on to be the national champions. So I know it sounds a little confusing, but that's the way I look at it. Because you can't just have a team go into a bowl game and say, okay, it's just going to be treated like a semifinal game. No, it's going to be a bowl game. It's just that the prize at the end of the tunnel is not just being that bowl's champions, but the prize at the end of the tunnel is getting to the national championship. So there you go. But anyway, before we get to that's next year, that's next season. Now, let's talk about this year. Let's talk about the bowl games this year, as well as the BCS bowl games as well. And of course, this is for anybody that did not see the selection show last night or anything. Here is the bowl lineup. Here's the bowl lineup, the non-BCS bowl lineup that starts basically next week. That's right, it starts, I believe, next week, next Saturday, as a matter of fact, next Saturday, it will begin. Next Saturday, a week from this Saturday, it begins. So here is the non-BCS bowl lineup of what bowl games and who's going to these bowl games. On Saturday, December 21st, which I said is a week from this Saturday, we are going to have three, I believe, we're going to have 4 bowl games. 4 bowl games to kick off the bowl season, to kick off the 2013-14 bowl season. We got four bowl games that we're going to kick off the bowl season on Saturday, a week from this Saturday, which is the 21st of December. The first bowl game will be at 2 o'clock. In other words, it will be about 11 a.m. Pacific time. So at 11 a.m. Pacific time, I believe, the first bowl game to kick off the bowl season will be the New Mexico Bowl, and that will pit Washington State and Colorado State. That's right. The Cougars of Washington State will take on the Rams of Colorado State. So those teams will officially kick off the bowl season at 11 a.m. Pacific time in the New Mexico Bowl. And that will be on ESPN. And then at 12:30 Pacific time, it'll be the Las Vegas Bowl. It'll be Fresno State and USC. That's right, USC. A team that not that long ago was one of the national powerhouses, and now they're in the second bowl game of the bowl season. They're helping to, basically they're helping to kick off the bowl season. Go figure. So yeah, it's the Fresno State Bulldogs and the USC Trojans meeting in the Las Vegas Bowl. That'll be at 12:30 p.m., I believe, 12:30 p.m., and it'll be on ABC. So ABC will be airing the Las Vegas Bowl a week from this Saturday. And then at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, ESPN will air the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. I know, it's a mouthful, right? The famous Idaho Potato Bowl. In other words, formerly the Humanitarian Bowl. And it will pit Buffalo against San Diego State. That's right, the Buffalo Bulls of the MAC against San Diego State of the Mountain West. So yeah, the MAC and the Mountain West will meet in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl in Boise, Idaho, a week from this Saturday on ESPN at 2:30 Pacific time. And then at 6 o'clock Pacific time, ESPN will follow that up with the New Orleans Bowl, and that will feature Tulane basically being at home. Basically, it'll be a home game for Tulane, and they will take on Louisiana Lafayette. And that sometimes is the advantage when it comes to bowls selecting what team. Sometimes a bowl game just essentially becomes a home game for you or for that team. If you don't believe me, take a look at the past bowl games in the history of college bowl games. When Boise State would get to the Humanitarian Bowl, now the Idaho Potato Bowl, when they would get there, it's essentially a home game. You know, same with Tulane. Tulane now plays the majority of the home games in the Superdome, so it's essentially a home game for them against Louisiana Lafayette in the New Orleans Bowl. And it's going to be basically the Louisiana Bowl with these two teams. You know, and again, I remember back when they had the California Raisin Bowl. And the California Raisin Bowl was held right up the road in Fresno at Bulldog Stadium, or whatever they call it now, at the Fresno State campus. And anytime Fresno State would get to it, it was basically essentially a home game, because they were on the home turf. But yeah, Tulane basically played a home game against Louisiana Lafayette in the New Orleans Bowl, which will air at 6 p.m. a week from this Saturday on ESPN. And then on the 23rd, on Monday, the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, at 11 a.m. Is it 11 a.m.? Yeah, at 11 a.m. At 11 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Pacific time, ESPN on the 23rd, which is on Monday, December 23rd, ESPN will air the St. Petersburg Bowl, or the Beef O'Brady St. Petersburg Bowl, and that will feature East Carolina and Ohio. East Carolina and Ohio will meet in the St. Petersburg Bowl, and that will air at 11 a.m. on the 23rd, Monday the 23rd, December 23rd, on ESPN at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And that's the unusualness about the bowl season. When it's done during the holiday season, the Christmas season, what's done during that, unless you have a DVR like I do, and you have to go somewhere, you can at least record the bowl games or whatever, if you're interested. But yeah, East Carolina and Ohio will meet in the St. Petersburg Bowl at 11 a.m. on ESPN on Monday the 23rd. And then on Christmas Eve, which is a Tuesday, I believe, it's the Hawaii Bowl. In other words, formerly the Aloha Bowl, now the Hawaii Bowl. It'll be Boise State and Oregon State. And that will air at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And since we're 2 hours ahead of them, it'll be 3 p.m. Hawaiian time when it airs out there, or when it takes place. So 5 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Hawaiian time on ESPN. It's the Hawaii Bowl, Boise State and Oregon State. And then the day after Christmas, we have the Little Caesars Bowl. The Little Caesars Bowl will air at, I'm trying to think here, folks, at 3 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Pacific on ESPN on the day after Christmas, the 26th. It's the Little Caesars Bowl. It's Pittsburgh versus Bowling Green. That's right, Pittsburgh no longer will be going to, this year has basically broken their Belk Bowl tradition. They will not be in the Belk Bowl, if you will. Instead, Pittsburgh will be in the, Little Caesars Bowl against Bowling Green. And that will be at 3 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN the day after Christmas. And then also the day after Christmas, we have a bowl game that usually is aired a couple of days before Christmas, but it's changed this year. And that is the Poncetta Bowl from San Diego. That will air at 6:30 p.m. Pacific on ESPN, and it will be Utah State and Northern Illinois. That's right, Northern Illinois, who was this close to a BCS at large, is now going to be playing in the Paseta Bowl against Utah State. So Utah State and Northern Illinois will meet in the Paseta Bowl at 6:30 p.m. Pacific on ESPN the day after Christmas. And then on the 27th of December, we have the Military Bowl, and that will be Marshall and Maryland. Marshall and Maryland will meet in the Military Bowl. This year it'll be held from Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. Annapolis, Maryland, Navy Marine Corps, the Navy Marine Corps at Annapolis, Maryland, at Memorial Stadium this year. That's right, the Military Bowl has been moved from Washington, from RFK Stadium, and it will take place at the Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Annapolis, Maryland, at the home of the Navy Midshipmen and Navy Marine Corps. So yeah, that's where the Military Bowl will be at this year, and it will feature Marshall and Maryland. And that will air at 11:30 a.m. on ESPN on the 27th of December. And then following that, at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN, will be the Texas Bowl. It'll be Syracuse and Minnesota. Syracuse and Minnesota will meet in the Texas Bowl on the 27th of December at 3 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. And then finishing out the 27th of December, we will have the Fight Hunger Bowl, which will be in San Francisco, straight down that way, if you will. San Francisco, in the AT&T Park. It'll be the Fight Hunger Bowl. It'll be BYU and Washington. Now BYU, surprisingly, had already accepted the bid to play in the Fight Hunger Bowl about a month before the season ended. That's right, they accepted about a month or so before the season ended. Pretty much they had an idea that they weren't going to make a major bowl this year. So they took what they could. And it's also part of the agreement. It's like if they can't get to a bigger bowl or something like that, like say one of the main bowls, then they're going to go to the Fight Hunger Bowl. And that's what they did. Fight Hunger Bowl accepts them. They will take on Washington from AT&T Park in San Francisco. That will air at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN, ending the December 27th run of college bowl games. And then the following day, on the 28th, we have at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we have the New Era Pinstripe Bowl from Yankee Stadium. It'll be Rutgers and Notre Dame. It's kind of surprising how far, and I'm a Notre Dame fan. I like Notre Dame. My late grandfather liked Notre Dame. So our family is basically Notre Dame fans, Fighting Irish fans. And it's kind of surprising how far they've gone. And I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm not trying to be mean, folks. But it's kind of surprising how far they've kind of fallen from last year. I mean, last season they won the national championship. Now they're in the Pinstripe Bowl. But that's okay. A bowl championship's a bowl championship as long as you can win it, as far as I'm concerned. Notre Dame and Rutgers in the Pinstripe Bowl at 9 a.m. Pacific time on ESPN on December 28th. Also on December 28th, we have the Belk Bowl. Was it the Belk Bowl Pittsburgh always went to? Wait a minute. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. It's probably something else. Let me check, if you will. Oh, no. It was the BBVA Compass Bowl. That's what Pittsburgh's bowl game was always about. It was the BBVA Compass Bowl. So I apologize about that to any Pittsburgh fans, but like I was trying to say earlier, Pittsburgh has broken the BBVA run, a BBVA bowl game run, and now it's going to be in the Little Caesars Bowl. So I apologize for that, and I'm sure a lot of you were already trying to correct me. So I'm sorry about that. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying. The Belk Bowl, which will follow the Pinstripe Bowl, also on ESPN, will be at 12:20 p.m. The Belk Bowl will be on ESPN, and it will be Cincinnati in North Carolina, in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's basically, essentially, just like I mentioned earlier with Tulane, this is going to be like a home game for North Carolina. But it'll be Cincinnati in North Carolina in the Belk Bowl at 12:20 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN on the 28th of December. And then following that, at 3:45 p.m. on ESPN, we have the Russell Athletic Bowl, and it will be Miami and Louisville. That's right, Miami and Louisville will meet in the Russell Athletic Bowl. And even though it's being played in Orlando, basically, even though it's being played at the Citrus Bowl, it's essentially almost going to be a home game for Miami. But yeah, Miami and Louisville will meet in the Russell Athletic Bowl at 3:45 p.m. on ESPN on the 28th of December. And then we round out the December 28th run of games, with the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl. And boy, does my second older sister just hate that name, or disdain the Buffalo Wild Wing name. But yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl. And this is a matchup I've been hoping to see. I just didn't think it was going to be in this kind of a bowl game. It's Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl from Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona at 7:15 p.m. Pacific on ESPN, Michigan, Kansas State. That's right, the Kansas State Wildcats will meet the Michigan Wolverines, and that ought to be good. Because I'm sure there's a lot of Michigan fans and a lot of Kansas State fans that have been waiting for this opportunity. And even if it's the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl, so be it. It's probably going to be one of the better bowl games of the year. And then, on December 30th, because they're going to be taking a day off, I think, because of Sunday. But then, on December 30th, at, this is going to be early, 8:45 a.m. will be the Armed Forces Bowl. It'll be Middle Tennessee and Navy on ESPN, and that will air at 8:45 a.m. Pacific Time. The Armed Forces Bowl, Middle Tennessee versus Navy, and that'll be on December 30th. Again, 8:45 a.m. And then at 12:15 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN, we will have the Music City Bowl. It'll be Ole Miss versus Georgia Tech. And that's at 12:15 p.m. Pacific Time. And then following that, at 3:45 p.m. Pacific Time, and this is one of the teams, and this is what's interesting, this is one of the teams involved in this bowl game. This is one of the teams that was projected at the very beginning of the season to be in the national championship at the end. Well, they're not in the national championship this year. Instead, they're in the Alamo Bowl. And it will be Oregon versus Texas. And that'll be at 3:45 p.m. Pacific Time on ESPN. And I know there's a lot of Oregon fans that hear about this exception and I know they're pretty much saying the same thing. Oregon's going to go into San Antonio and basically dismantle Texas out of anger for the fact that they didn't get to a BCS bowl game, or for the fact that their projection of being in the national championship fell through. So, and you know what? I like Texas. I have a Texas Longhorn hat, if you will. But I do agree, as good as Mac Brown's team is, they're in trouble come December 30th in San Antonio. I hate to say that, but they are. They're going to have a hell of a game. Or not, oh, sorry, Lord. I didn't mean to say that. I mean, heck of a game. Forgive me for saying that, God. A heck of a game, I should say. Forgive me for saying that, Lord. I didn't mean to say that. Please forgive me. In your name I pray, please forgive me. Amen. But again, like I said, they're going to have a heck of a game and a heck of a fight in front of them, because Oregon is going to want to prove a point in the Alamo Bowl on December 30th at 3:45 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. And then following that, we have the National University Holiday Bowl. A new sponsor, National University, is sponsoring the Holiday Bowl. Go figure. The Holiday Bowl will be at 7:15 p.m. on ESPN on December 30th. It'll be Arizona State and Texas Tech. So Texas Tech and Arizona State will meet in the Holiday Bowl to round out the December 30th edition of College Bowl games. And that will be at 7:15 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. And then New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve always has a lot of bowl games. The first bowl game will be the Independence Bowl. It'll be the Independence Bowl, or known as the AdvoCare V100 Bowl. The V100 Bowl, formerly Independence Bowl, will kick off at basically 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. It will be Arizona and Boston College. That's right, both Arizona schools, Arizona State and Arizona, will be in bowl games this year. Arizona will face Boston College in the Independence Bowl, or as it's known, the V100 Bowl. So that will be on ESPN at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. And then we have the Sun Bowl, the Hyundai Sun Bowl, or formerly the John Hancock Sun Bowl, or just the Sun Bowl, if you will. It will be at 11 a.m. Pacific on CBS, Virginia Tech versus UCLA. Virginia Tech, UCLA in the Hyundai Sun Bowl at 11 a.m. Pacific time on CBS. And then at 1 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN is the Liberty Bowl. It'll be Rice versus Mississippi State. It'll be Rice versus Mississippi State in the Liberty Bowl at 1 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. And then we get to the last one, and I'll talk about that in the second part, because yes, this will be a two-part video.